I never thought that they would be having Thanksgiving in the court because court is closed during Thanksgiving. But today we are going to be diving into a bunch of food lawsuits that have recently been filed in the district courts and federal courts for things that consumers, other food companies, and people that trade stocks are suing these different food companies because of things they are alleging they are doing wrong. We are going to go through these cases and y'all let me know if y'all have heard about it, what y'all think about it, and make sure that you're staying all the way to the very end because we are going to be covering what I think is the funniest lawsuit towards the end of the live stream. We have 3 lawsuits that we're going to be going through. We're going to go through a KFC lawsuit against fellow Church's Chicken, which really confused me. And we're going to be going through a Chipotle lawsuit that involves investors and the fact that they think that Chipotle is given skimpy portions and that they should be compensated for even thinking about buying their stock and not being compensated for the stock going up. To me, it sounds like a bad investment, but y'all can let me know what y'all think about it. And then lastly, what I think is the funniest lawsuit, only because the picture included in the complaint made me giggle, is the Subway lawsuit. They're being sued for being too skimpy on the steak. So there are 2 skimpy lawsuits, for lack of a better word. And then there's one lawsuit of being a copycat. And is it surprising that KFC is calling someone a copycat? If you guys are watching live, please make sure that you're hitting the like button to show the channel some love. And if you're watching on the replay, also hit the like button to show the channel some love. We do have timestamps down below. Let's go ahead and jump into the first case for today. Where is Bossy B? Okay, here we go. Also, if y'all are watching live, you know we are covering the chats at the end of the live stream. So again, feel free to drop what you think about these lawsuits as we go through them. We are first starting off with KFC. This is the copycat lawsuit. And I don't know why I'm not surprised that KFC is suing for someone being a copycat, but they are. Now, what I would say is confusing. Oh, this is the Subway one. What I would say is confusing in this lawsuit is the fact that they have a trademark for what they're claiming they have a trademark for. To me, I don't think they should have a trademark for this, but for whatever reason, the trademark office decided to give them a trademark. So we have KFC suing Church's Chicken. How many of y'all knew that Church's was still in business? I did not know they were in business. I was very shocked when I was in Puerto Rico a couple weeks ago to see that they had a Church's Chicken. I barely ever see Church's Chicken, and like the one that sticks to my mind growing up was the one that's like off the free. I don't know if it's off the freeway or not. I just remember every time I would go visit my grandpa in Oakland, there was this Church's Chicken there, and sometimes we would stop there. But that's like the only Church's Chicken that I knew about. And then now they are actually promoting more chicken. And I want y'all to be real honest with me. I wish I could create a poll while I'm on live stream, but I don't want to slow down the live stream by doing that. Let me know if you think that this trademark should be a trademark. I really don't see how this is a trademark. So let's jump right into it. What is KFC suing over? They are suing over KFC's trademark for the original recipe. The trademark is literally original recipe. For chicken? Are you serious? I feel like any food place can say that they have the original the original burrito bowl. We're about to go into the Chipotle lawsuit. The original cheesesteak, the original Philly cheesesteak, the original hot chicken. I feel like any food industry can say that they're the original. I just don't see how they are getting a trademark for original recipe, but y'all let me know what y'all think about the trademark original recipe. I don't think it's a very unique one, but for whatever reason, they filed it in 1984. I guess no one else was filing that, so they ended up winning. They got it, and they've been having it for several years, but y'all let me know what y'all think about it. They say that the original recipe, or KFC's trademark original recipe, is the one of the best known and successful brands of freshly prepared fried chicken in the world. Now, I have to say, my parents fed me KFC a lot as a child, more than I like to admit. I don't even like KFC now. I would never step a foot in a KFC as we speak today. But I ate a lot of KFC growing up. I had no idea that their logo was original recipe. I really had no idea. Y'all let me know if you knew about this, but I had no idea that their trademark was original recipe because it doesn't sound like a trademark, right? Since the legendary brand was introduced over half a century ago, it has become synonymous with the KFC's fried chicken products. Through its extensive advertising and promotion of the brand and the unsolicited press coverage, then brand has attained. I guess the brand has attained. KFC. There's a typo already, y'all. KFC has built tremendous goodwill in the original recipe mark and owns incontestable federal registration for that mark. Now, when you have a trademark for a long period of time, it basically becomes uncontestable after 5 years, especially if it's a descriptive trademark. This to me is a descriptive trademark, but they have acquired incontestability because they've had it since 1984. I don't think it's fair. But there have been cases where names then become generic. I think Kodak is now generic. Kleenex is generic. As far as Kleenex used to be a trademark, and now it's not a trademark because people always call the tissues in the boxes Kleenex. It's no longer a trademark. So I'm thinking in them filing this lawsuit and trying to protect their brand, I think they're going to end up losing their brand and the courts finding that it has now become generic and no longer trademarkable, because the original recipe for a restaurant, like, are you serious? I have no idea how they're suing about that. On or about September 30, 2024, long after KFC had established its original recipe brand, defendant abruptly began using the original recipe mark to promote and brand its own competing line of fried chicken products and restaurant services. When KFC discovered defendant's use of the original recipe mark, it sent defendant a letter dated October 24, 2024, objecting to defendant's unauthorized and infringing use of KFC's original recipe mark. Defendant ignored KFC's letter and opted instead to expand its use and promotion of the original recipe mark. And y'all will see how churches decides to use it. It's being used in a sentence. I don't know if this would be trademark infringement. And in addition to that, I don't think it's a valid trademark. It's a stupid trademark. Original recipe? This is grandma's original recipe. Grandma can't have an original recipe because KFC got all the original recipes? I don't know if this is good. I think they're going to end up turning themselves generic. These actions are causing irreparable harm by trading on the fame and goodwill of the original recipe mark. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get through this because I just don't see how this is a trademark, but it is. It's a trademark at this point, and diminishing the valuable rights in the mark that KFC has developed over half a century. KFC therefore brings this action for trademark infringement under the Trademark Act, unfair competition and false designation of origin, federal trademark dilution under the Lanham Act, and dilution under the law of Texas, and trademark infringement and unfair competition under the common law. So not only do they have a federal trademark that they're trying to protect, but they also have common law rights because they've been using the mark in commerce. So people have seen them use it. Now, like I said, I still don't think it's a trademark, but y'all can let me know what y'all think about that. Let's jump into a little bit more of the description of KFC and how they're using this mark and why they think they own original recipe. I mean, they do own it. They technically do own original recipe when it comes to fried chicken and restaurant services. I think it's overbroad. I think it's too broad to be able to be upheld as a trademark. Y'all let me know what y'all think. KFC's restaurants, of which there are 30,000 locations in more than 150 internationally markets internationally, specialize in providing fried chicken made with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices, resulting in a unique signature flavor. I'm glad my parents don't feed me KFC no more. The combination of 11 herbs and spices is one of the most well-known iconic trade secrets in the food industry, and it is that combination of ingredients that KFC has promoted with the original recipe mark. The closely guarded ingredients in KFC's original recipe chicken have long fascinated the general public and have prompted extensive unsolicited media attention for decades. In a September 9, 2018, I'm so used to seeing 2020 something, 2008, not even 2018, article, the Associated Press reported that so important is the 68-year-old concoction that coats the chain's original recipe chicken that only two company executives at any time have access to. So it's a real big secret how they make KFC chicken. Consumers' efforts to crack the code of KFC's original recipe chicken have also led to significant press attention, with a 2016 Chicago Tribune article noting that attempts to unearth the Colonel's original recipe to replicate it have been made too many times to count. KFC's first offered its fried chicken and restaurant services in connection with original recipe mark in 1972. In the half century that has passed since, KFC has built tremendous goodwill through the substantial investment in advertising, including the original recipe mark, in which the mark it uses to identify its goods and services in the US and elsewhere. KFC has advertised its products featuring the original recipe mark in the United States through various means, including electronic media, television commercial, print media, social media, and other promotional and point of sale materials. An example of such advertising from 1986 is shown below. So this is a black and white picture from an advertisement. Does that chicken look scrumptious or what? I'm going to go with the or what. The picture quality is so bad, but I mean, I guess if there's no color for the picture, how else do you promote your product? But a black and white picture of chicken, I don't think it could ever do justice. But if you look over here in the left-hand corner, you see original recipe in big letters. But if you can squint and see small, it also says the Colonel's original recipe, which makes sense to me. Just to have original recipe as a trademark is wild to me. Like grandma's original recipe, Bob's original recipe, the Colonel's original recipe, Church's Chicken original recipe. I just see it as descriptive. You're using it to describe. This is our original recipe. We done tried some other recipes before, but this is the original. So here's the scrumptious chicken that they're selling for us in 86 or something like that. Yep, 1986. And then today, the original recipe mark continues to be a cornerstone of the KFC advertising, with a new campaign promoting KFC's launch of the original recipe chicken tenders shown below, having launched in October 2024. Now, new KFC original recipe tender box. I just don't connect the original recipe to goddamn KFC. I really don't. I just don't connect that to KFC, but apparently it's their trademark. Because of KFC's exclusive and extensive use of the original recipe mark, the mark has acquired substantial value and is widely recognized as identifying and distinguishing KFC as the source of goods and services offered in connection with the original recipe mark. KFC owns strong common law rights in the original recipe mark as a result of this extensive and continuous use, and the mark has become famous among general consuming public of the United States and of Texas, and represents an extraordinarily valuable goodwill to KFC. KFC has obtained the following U.S. trademark registrations in the original recipe mark in connection with the goods and services. So they have original recipe trademarked back in 1984 for freshly prepared fried chicken for consumption on or off the premises. They also have Colonel Harlan, I think it says Harlan Sanders, original recipe since 1940. This to me is more of a trademark than this. Original recipe. Of what? Of what? And every time we've seen it in the advertisement, it has been accompanied by something else. Original recipe tender box, new KFC, that's accompanied. The Colonel's original recipe. I don't know if we can say that it's just original recipe is their trademark at this point. But like I said, they had it since 1984. So who are we to say it's not their trademark? True and correct copies of the registration referenced above, along with the current status page of the registration, are attached as Exhibit 1. These registrations are valid, subsisting in full force and effect. These registrations are incontestable pursuant to the Lanham Act. Like I said, if you have a descriptive mark, but you've been using it for 5 years and people begin to associate that mark with you, then it can become your trademark. But like I said earlier, you can also have that trademark diluted because they're suing Church's Chicken, right? This one is for fried chicken. I believe we'll get into what I believe is going to happen with this. And once we get through what they're saying that Church's Chicken is doing wrong. And y'all let me know if y'all think that what Church's Chicken, how they're advertising is infringing on this, on the KFC's original recipe trademark that I don't think should be a trademark. Defendant's unlawful act started on or about September 30, 2024. Defendant began promoting its fried chicken and associated restaurant services in connection with the original recipe mark. On television advertisement, on its website, and on related social media accounts, defendant emphasizes the original recipe mark by displaying it in a prominent font in large letters. It says, "Our original recipe box is back." Or sorry, I added a whole word in there that's not even there. "Our original recipe is back." So I think they're also promoting it differently. It's not even in the same line. It's definitely descriptive. It's letting us know that this is their original recipe, not KFC's original recipe, not the original recipe. It is describing what they are selling. Remember when y'all first came with us back in whatever year? This is that original chicken. We had switched it up for a while, but now we're back. I don't think that's infringing, but again, y'all let me know. Again, our original recipe is back. This is what KFC is claiming is infringing on they trademark that I don't agree with. Let's just go from there. And then we got the OG recipe is back. And then again, all over their restaurants, they're showing the original recipe is back. And so KFC is saying this is infringing on their original recipe trademark that they have. KFC has not authorized defendants to use the original recipe mark and has no control over the quality of defendants' goods and services. KFC, through counsel, sent a letter on October 24th, 2024, expressing its concerns with defendant markets, its product expressing its concern that defendants markets its products and services in a manner that suggests they are associated with or authorized by KFC when that is not the case. I don't agree with that. I would not have tied that to KFC at all. It may be because I'm not a hardcore fan of KFC. If anyone is a hardcore fan of KFC and you just think of KFC as the original chicken, let us know. Let us know in the chat or in the comments. Okay. And it creates a likelihood of consumer confusion concerning the source and sponsorship of defendants' products and will undoubtedly have the effect of diminishing the distinctive quality and value of KFC's famous mark. KFC concluded by requesting that defendants cease use of the KFC original recipe mark. A true and correct copy of the letter is going to be attached as an exhibit. To date, defendant has not responded to KFC's letter because it sounds like it's BS to me. Defendant uses the original recipe mark in a branded sense in connection with goods and services identical to KFC. Yes, you both sell fried chicken. And defendant's use of original recipe mark is therefore likely to deceive, confuse, or mislead purchasers and prospective purchasers into believing that the goods and services offered under the mark are affiliated with, authorized by, or come from KFC. I don't agree with that. None of which is the case. Purchasers and prospective purchasers who are disappointed with defendants' products and services are likely to attribute their dissatisfaction to KFC. KFC, let's be for real. No, they're not. No, they're not. I think there's a completely different demographic that eats at KFC and that eats at churches. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think the same people are buying the chicken for one. And I just don't associate original recipe with KFC. Please let me know if anyone else does. Please let me know. Okay. The likelihood of confusion, mistake, and deception resulting from defendant's actions is causing irreparable harm to KFC's reputation and goodwill. Further, defendant's use of the original recipe mark is likely to does dilute, or will continue to dilute the distinctive quality of the original recipe mark by lessening its capacity to identify and distinguish KFC exclusively as the source of goods and services bearing the mark. Defendant has actual and constructive notice of KFC's prior rights and original recipe mark, but nevertheless adopted and has continued to use the mark even after receiving a demand letter setting forth KFC's concerns and objections. Defendant's conduct is willful and reckless. And why are they saying that? Because they want those punitive damages. Like I said earlier, they're suing for trademark infringement, unfair competition, false description, and false designation. They're also suing for federal trademark dilution, and they're suing for trademark dilution under Texas law, and then the common law trademark infringement, as we talked about earlier. Now, what I think is going to happen here, we got KFC suing Church's Chicken for describing their chicken as Church's original recipe, because they've both been making chicken for a long time. KFC has a trademark called original recipe, which I don't think should be an original recipe. And what I think is going to happen is when the Church's chicken responds and say that this is a descriptive trademark that no one associates with KFC, unless somebody can prove me wrong in the chat or on the comments, no one associates with KFC alone. There's multiple restaurants that use this phrase. They are describing their good. I think what's going to happen is that KFC's trademark is going to fall off and become generic like Kleenex. And potentially, I don't think it's happened to Google yet, but like Googling, it's probably going to happen to Google eventually. So I don't know. I'm not in agreement with it, maybe because I'm not a hardcore KFC fan, but I do think that they're going to run their risk of making this trademark diluted when Church's Chicken goes through and finds all the different restaurants that are using our original recipe, their original recipe, the original recipe, mama's original recipe, grandma's original recipe. When they go through and find all those people and say, well, you never police these people, and KFC tries to distinguish it and says, oh, because they're not frying chicken, they're going to say, yeah, but it's still restaurant services. It's still for food cooked during those services, or sorry, for restaurant services. So you should have also been defending against all of these other people as well. And I think that is going to fall off as generic. I don't even think that it should have made it to a trademark. It is descriptive, but I do understand that descriptive trademarks can become incontestable if you're using it for 5 years. So there's that. That is the KFC lawsuit. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Of course, we are going to get to the chats at the end of the live stream. So like I said, make sure you're commenting, letting the people know what you're thinking about it. And we are going to jump right into the Chipotle lawsuit, which one is a little bit heftier. So let's check out the little bit of the heftier lawsuit that we have. So in this one, and we might jump around in this one because it's a little bit repetitive, we have investors suing Chipotle for giving Skimpy portions in their burrito bowl, which in turn made the stock for Chipotle go down. And I know probably a lot of people in the chat and in the comments and on the replay like Chipotle or have liked Chipotle in the past. But maybe, just maybe, you don't like it as much anymore because one, their prices have been going up, and two, they have been a little bit more stingy than they were originally. Like the quesadilla is substantially smaller than what it used to be, because I used to go to Chipotle and order a quesadilla for $6, mind you. Burrito bowls, for those young people watching the channel, if we have any young people watching the channel, burrito bowls, quesadillas, they used to be $6. I go now, it's like $12 for what I want. For chicken, maybe it's 11. It's probably 12 still. But it's a lot. The price have gone up substantially in the last 15 years. And like I said, even the quesadilla is smaller. For one, those quesadillas used to bang. Like I used to love those quesadillas. I upgraded and matured and started ordering burrito bowls once I got a little bit more money. But well, no, it was the same cost. I was spending the same to not get rice and beans. But either way it goes, it started getting a little bit more expensive. Got a little bit more bang for my buck by getting the whole burrito bowl. But the quesadillas used to be good. And one day, I decided, hey, let me get a quesadilla. I used to love the quesadillas when I was in high school. I got a quesadilla. I was like, what is this? It's like the size of your hand. They make it like all square. I don't get the point. Y'all let me know. Anyways, we got Chipotle being sued by their investors for being skimpy on their burrito bowls, making the stocks go down. Let's see what they have to say. They basically call Chipotle a liar, liar, pants on fire. We got Michael Stratford suing Chipotle, and he is intending to make this a class action lawsuit. So if you also bought stocks in Chipotle, I think between like February and October of this year, he is asking that you join this lawsuit as someone who was violated by Chipotle. And they're also saying that they're violating the federal security law. So investment laws, right? So nature of this action, this is a class action on behalf of This is a class action on behalf of persons or entities who purchased or otherwise acquired publicly traded Chipotle common stock between February 8, 2024 and October 29, 2024, and those who purchased Chipotle call options or sold put options during the class period. Plaintiff seeks to recover compensable damages caused by defendant's violation of the federal securities laws under the Security Exchange Act of 1934. We are in a California district court. Let's see where we're going to. The substantive allegations. Oh, I did skip over this. They're not only suing Chipotle, they're also suing some of the top officers in the company. So they're also suing Brian Nickel, the chief executive officer. Why can I not talk? The chief executive officer, the CEO, and then defendant John Hartung, who is the company's chief financial and administrative officer, and they're basically trying to pierce the corporate veil and basically say they knew what was going on and they should have stopped it. They did some omissions, and they did not correct the behavior that the company was doing. So these people who are the head of the company are also being sued. And then the substantive allegations that this guy is making on behalf of the class. On February 8, 2024, the company filed with the SEC its annual report on Form 10-K. And they report, I'm not going to read through all of that because that's going to be legal blah mumbo jumbo. That's just going to get me tongue-tied, and I'm already struggling through the documents. I don't know why. Anyways, in the 2023 annual report, it contained the following risk disclosure. The restaurant industry is highly competitive. We are not able to compete successfully. Our business, financial conditions, and results of operations, if we are not able to compete successfully, our business, financial condition, and results of operations would be adversely affected. The restaurant industry is highly competitive with respect to the taste preferences, price, food quality and selection, customer service, brand reputation, digital engagement, advertisement, and promotional incentives, and the location, attractiveness, and maintenance of the restaurants. We also compete with non-traditional market participants, such as convenience meals in the form of entrees, side dishes, or meal preparation kits from the deli or prepared food sections of the grocery store, meal kit delivery services, and ghost dark kitchens where meals are prepared at a separate takeaway premises rather than a restaurant. Increased competition could have an adverse effect on our sales, profitability, development plans, if guest or dietary preferences change, if our marketing efforts are unsuccessful, and if our restaurants are unable to compete successfully with other restaurant outlets. They go on to say that they have a commitment to providing us with better ingredients, locally sourced or like ethically sourced products. And they go on to say, if we are unable to continue to maintain our distinctiveness and compete effectively, our business, financial condition, and result of operations could be adversely affected. And what their concern is that there are also other restaurants popping up that are alleging the same thing, that they are using ethically sourced meats. Their cows are not fed certain things. Their dairy is clean in whatever way. We're not going to go through all of the legal mumbo jumbo that was in that paragraph. And then they go on to say that those statements were materially false and misleading because the company overstated how difficult it will be to compete given the company provided customers with highly inconsistent and, in the view of some customers, lacking portion sizes. And one thing that Chipotle is saying is that they pride themselves on giving great portion sizes in order to get people to continue to come back. And what this investor is saying, they were not doing that, and that is going to be demonstrated throughout this lawsuit of how they said that they were giving good size portions. People started complaining, and then they went into giving good size portions, and they admit that their revenue went down during that time because their product was costing more because they were given the generous portion sizes. So the 2023 annual report contained the following risk disclosure. If we do not continue to persuade guests of the benefits of paying higher prices for our higher quality food, our sales and results of operations could be hurt. Our success depends in large part on our ability to persuade guests that food made with ingredients that were raised and grown according to our food with integrity principles, we are worth paying the higher price relative to prices some other competitors, particularly quick service competitors. Same thing that we talked about earlier. And if our guests do not agree with the overall value proposition of our menu, our sales could be adversely affected, which can negatively impact our operations. They go on to say that the statement was materially false because basically they are given those inconsistent portions, which is already dissuading customers from coming to the Chipotle restaurants as commonly as they used to. On April 25th, 2024, the company filed with the SEC an annual report in which they stated, so we're in quarter four or quarter two, on May 29th, what was it? I forgot what they put in that one. It's the same thing. They're saying that they were still given the inconsistent portions. On May 29, 2024, the Washington Post published an article entitled Chipotle Portions Haven't Shrunk, Company Says After the TikTok Backlash. This article stated that there has been increasingly vocal online complaints in recent months from diners about the perceived stinginess of the burrito chain's portions, once thought to be so generous that a crafty order could feed themselves for days from a single bowl. It then stated the following, but things took a turn when massively influential food reviewer Keith Lee echoed these laments and added a few dings of his own in a May 3rd TikTok review. Lee, whose mild-mannered delivery and efforts to avoid getting special treatment have distinguished him from a sea of online food reviewers, wields considerable influence even beyond his 16.3 million TikTok followers. He says that he used to love Chick-fil-A. He said at the start of the segment, in which he ordered several menu items, lately Chipotle has not hit the same, in my opinion. Things did not get better from there. He struggled to find bits of chicken in his bowl. See, I don't see no chicken. He ended up rating Chipotle a 2 out of 10, even though he had recently worked with Chipotle and they named an item after him. They called it the Quesadilla from something that went viral on TikTok. So he had a brand partnership with them and they probably paid him a lot of money, and he's still ragging on them on the internet in May of 2024. Chipotle, the virtual pal on Chipotle, why can I talk? Chipotle, the virtual pal on intensified. Some people called for users to register their displeasure with the company by leaving one-star reviews on its app. Others took their grievances to local locations, posting videos of themselves starting an order, but walking out of the restaurant midway if they thought the workers behind the counter were not doling out sufficient generous scoops. The Washington Post pointed out that the consumer frustration with Chipotle was playing out against a backdrop of customer frustration with rising food costs across the board at the grocery store, in fast food drive-thrus, and at white tablecloth restaurants. The Washington Post quoted the company's Chief Corporate Affairs and Food Safety Officer said, there have been no changes in our portion sizes, and we have reinforced proper portioning with our employees. If we did not deliver on our value, we want our guests to reach out so that we can make it right. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like a time on TikTok and Instagram and all the social medias where people were going to Chipotle saying, oh, they said that they're going to give you a lot of food. And Chipotle was giving a lot of food and people was recording and it was making their goodwill go up. Well, this complaint then alleges that they decided to do training with those particular locations that were not doing good on the portion control, and those people started giving more portions to them. They decided to do this after a journalist went to 74 different Chipotle they ordered 74 different Chipotle orders from 8 different locations in New York, and they had a wide range of weights. I think like the lowest was like 16 ounces and then the highest was 26 ounces. But I believe she was ordering most of the same stuff, if not the same order over and over again from those different restaurants, but from different accounts, or having different people go in and finding that their quality was inconsistent. And so they decided that they were going to give out a lot of portions so that people will continue to come back and they will get their reputation back. So in that quarter that they did that, their costs in producing their product actually went up, not only because of the inflation of meat prices and dairy prices and everything else that comes along with that, but also the increase in the portion sizes that they were giving out. So what this investor says is that they are basically admitting that they were not given generous portions before, because had they always, their portion sizes never changed like the CEO is claiming, had they always been giving the large portion size, they would not have increased costs so much when they decide to give the generous portion sizes to basically fix their reputation. And so I just didn't want to read all the words. That's basically what it says for the rest of the lawsuit. They are suing Chipotle directly and trying to get their money back. And then, like I said, they're suing the CEO and the CFO directly because they're claiming that they did not give proper information to investors to make sure that they were making an informed decision. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about it. Have y'all been to Chipotle? Have they given you skimpy portion sizes? Do you think that they should be giving you more portions when you're going to Chipotle? I don't know. I feel like I don't even go there as often as I used to because the prices have increased. I don't even care. Yeah, I would care about the portion sizes. If I'm giving you $12, you better give me a good amount of money, a good amount of food. But I don't even want to go to Chipotle anymore just because it's so expensive. And like I said, it is inconsistent on both taste and the amount of food that they give you. You got to be like, hey, give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. Why not being stingy with the rice and the beans? They pointed that out too. They not only stingy with the meat, but the rice, the beans, the vegetables, even in the vegetarian dishes, or if you're getting the meat dish, they're still skimpy on that too. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about Chipotle and their skimpy meat. And we are going to move on to the next lawsuit, which is another skimpy meat. Another skimpy meat lawsuit, but I saved what I think is the funniest for last. I hope I'm not hyping it up too much for y'all. So let's go ahead and jump in. Hope I'm not hyping it up too much. This one is very short, y'all. This one is a very short lawsuit, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the chat. We are talking about Subway being sued by Lagaris Montgomery. Y'all, if you have not hit the like button, please do. It does help the channel out. We are currently at 13 likes. We got 9 people watching live, so if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It does help me out on the channel. We're jumping into the lawsuit from Lagaris Montgomery, also filing a class action for the skimpy portions perpetrated this time by Subway restaurants for a steak sandwich that they decided to sell. And Subway is another location I don't eat at. Like, I don't know what it is. In college, I ate Subway a lot because it was $5. Am I poor? Was I poor? I think that's the question I need to ask myself. You ate Chipotle quesadillas when you was in high school because it was $6. You ate Subway sandwiches in college because it was $5. Now your taste is too good for Subway. I don't even think they have $5 footlongs anymore. So no, I'm not going anywhere and spending more than $5 on a sandwich. I refuse, unless it's like a Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich. But and even that's like hot food. But like a sandwich, I can't give them more than $5. I guess I was poor at that time. Poor college student is what they would call it. So $5 for a Subway sandwich. So I didn't even see this steak. My point is, I didn't even see this steak sandwich come out because I don't eat at Subway. I didn't know Subway was selling steak sandwiches. Now, what I will say are some commercials that almost got me. I don't know where I was hearing these commercials that. Was it on TikTok or was it just on TV? I don't remember. But they came out with like a churro or something, or like the foot long desserts. They almost got me on that. I used to be good for going to get 3 cookies for, what was it, like $2 or something like that. I used to be $5 footlongs and the three cookies for like $1.50 or something like that. Whatever that deal was, I was in there all the time. So I love me a good dessert. So they did almost get me on that recently, was the footlong desserts. They almost got me. But on the food, y'all can have all of that. I don't trust no Subway sandwich. I do not trust a Subway sandwich. So let's go ahead and jump in and y'all will see what made me giggle. Okay. It just made me giggle. So, preliminary statement. Let me not show it to y'all. Okay. Plaintiff brings this action on behalf of himself and all other similarly situated persons who purchase any of Subway's steak and cheese sandwiches that they're going to refer to as the product. This action is brought to remedy various violations of law in connection with defendants' marketing, advertising, and selling of the product. Specifically, Subway uses photographs in its advertisement to make it appear that the steak and cheese sandwich contains at least 200% more meat than the actual sandwiches that customers receive. Now, how does this person know that it's 200% more meat? I don't know. I don't know how they got to that conclusion, but I can definitely let you know that this picture here, it did it for me. It made me giggle because the picture on the website, it looks fabulous. It does look fabulous. It looks appetizing. It almost looks like a Philly cheesesteak that you're going to order for like $10, $12, right? It looks phenomenal, the picture. Whoever did the food photography did an amazing job. But the side-by-side picture that they put up of what they received, it just made me chuckle. So let's take a look. So we have, this is what was on the app that the guy decided to order. Ooh, that looks good. Like, you cannot tell me that does not look good. But this is what he received. It just looks like bread. There's a little meat right here. And the bread look dry. It don't look good. I'm not going back to Subway. This is not making me want to go back to Subway. Look how shiny this bread is over here. It looks phenomenal, right? Nice shined up. Probably moistened with some water when they were taking the picture. We got melted cheese. The steak look about 2 inches thick. Why are you ordering steak from Subway? I'm not ordering a steak sandwich from Subway. Why? Why would I do that? But look how the bread is glistening. And then you got this dry bread over here. Where's the meat, Subway? Where is the meat? Numerous other customers have complained on social media that Subway's advertisement for the steak and cheese sandwich are grossly misleading. Why are you buying steak from Subway? Not to say that they're doing something right here, but why are you buying steak from Subway? The picture do look good. I can't hold them on that. Below is just one of the many online complaints regarding Subway steak and cheese sandwiches. Now look at it again. Let me know if this was the advertisement picture. Would you buy it? It don't even look like nothing's on it. It just looked like a bread roll that's been in somebody's backpack for 3 days. It looks so bad. Interestingly, the first result when Google Subway steak, interestingly, the first result when Googling Subway steak and cheese brings a customer or consumer to Subway's webpage with the following image and description. Now, boom, that makes you want to order a steak and cheese sandwich from Subway. Am I going to do it? No, I'm not. What's this little flag here? What country they in right there? It makes you want to look at it. It's all toasted on the side. We gearing up for Thanksgiving, y'all. We are gearing up for Thanksgiving. Toasted on the side. You got some little vegetables at the bottom. Some melted cheese. The bread is all vibrant. The vegetables are vibrant. The meat is vibrant. The meat is non-existent. The cheese is non-existent. No, there's a meat right there. And why is the bread so flaky? Like, why so many crumbs if you're just now opening the sandwich? That's what he got. I like how the font on Subway is thick and juicy, like their sandwich. But what he receives is thin, grimy, like what he received. I cannot. But it does make it look like, okay, maybe I need to go back to Subway and get me a steak sandwich. Maybe I need to give Subway a chance. I'm not after that dry sandwich he just showed. As shown above, Subway explicitly states in one advertisement, a steak and cheese sandwich with lots of steak smothered in melted cheese. That's what the advertisement said. He didn't get that. Subway's advertisement for the product are unfair and financially damaging to consumers as they are receiving a product that is materially lower in value than what is being represented. Subway's promise to consumers of a large portion of food with their purchase is also causing consumers to come to or order from Subway restaurants and make purchases that they would not have otherwise made. The allegations herein are based on personal knowledge as to plaintiff's own experience and are made as to other matters based on an investigation by counsel, including analysis of publicly available information. So they're seeing other people talk mess about Subway. They're hoping that this case is at least going to exceed $5 million. Let's get a little bit deeper into the factual allegations of what this plaintiff experienced and how he ended up in a situation where he received that dry sandwich we just looked at while looking at a beautiful picture on the Subway app. So, plaintiff purchased a steak and cheese sandwich through Subway's mobile application for pickup at the local Subway Florence in South Carolina. Plaintiff viewed the advertisement for the steak and cheese sandwich on Subway's mobile ordering application and relied on said photograph in choosing to purchase said sandwich. After he picked up and began eating his sandwich, plaintiff realized that there was barely any steak on the sandwich and that the photographs that he relied on were grossly misleading. It took you biting into that dry, empty sandwich to notice that there wasn't no meat on there. When you unwrapped it, you should have saw that there was no meat on this sandwich. That sandwich was skimpy to say the least. Plaintiff expected that the steak and cheese sandwich that he ordered would contain a similar amount of meat as contained in the photograph for the steak and cheese sandwich on Subway's mobile ordering application. However, the photograph of the steak and cheese sandwich on Subway's mobile ordering application contained well over 200% more meat than what was in the actual sandwich that plaintiff received. Again, I don't know how he got to the number 200%. How do you know how much meat was on that sandwich? Did you count the little curves of meat to determine how many curves you had and how many curves that sandwich had? I just don't know how they came up with the 200% number. I would love to know. Please let me know if you're a part of this lawsuit. If plaintiff knew that the steak and cheese sandwich contained substantially less than the amount of meat as advertised, he would not have purchased the sandwich. He is suing as a class action. So if you have also been scammed on this Subway sandwich, I think you can still join the lawsuit to get you a couple of dollars back. I think they're asking for like $100 per person if you were scammed on this for a steak and cheese sandwich from Subway, particularly not any sandwich, but the steak and cheese sandwich. They're suing for violation of Pennsylvania unfair trade practices by basically lying to everyone and telling them they was going to get a whole bunch of steak on their sandwich. They got unjust enrichment because they knew that they were going to give you, according to this plaintiff, they knew they were going to give you a skimpy amount of meat, and they kept the money when they get to sit on profit because they didn't spend that much in making a sandwich. And then they go on through the regular relief that they're asking for. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I thought that one was funny because I can't lie. The meat portion was very skimpy, or at least from the picture that we saw. It didn't even look like anything was in the bread. It literally looked like toasted cracked bread with a piece of meat hanging out on the side that fell out. And that's the only piece of meat that they were going to have. So they needed to savor the flavor. I wish they would have took a picture from the front. Maybe that was from the back because we couldn't see nothing. The bread didn't even split open. Okay. It didn't even crack open like they opened the bread. It literally looks like they just had a roll of bread. So hopefully that person has more pictures to basically prove their case moving forward. I would love to see where this goes. I would love to see if there's just going to be a settlement. Are they also going to try to give generous portions in order to correct their wrongs and end up going into debt, trying to actually why can I not think of words? Actually keep going on with what people would think. You said that I'm going to get a juicy sandwich. Subway now is giving juicy sandwiches, and now they're going bankrupt because they can't keep up with the cost of all the goods. Y'all let me know on all the 3 lawsuits or what y'all think. I'm going to go ahead and have Bossy B bring us into the chat for those of you watching live. Okay, y'all, and that was the last lawsuit for the live stream. So it's going to be a short stream. We're going to check out the chat to see what y'all have to say about these lawsuits that we covered today, y'all, we boosted up to 15 likes. But if y'all haven't hit the like button, please do hit the like button. If you're on the replay or watching live, it does help the channel out. And I definitely appreciate it. So let's see what the chat has to say about the lawsuits. We're going all the way back to the top. We got Chelsea B saying, hey, BriHive, hello and welcome back into the live stream. Nice to have you in tonight. We got Lola Waterton saying, hello, BriHive. Hello and welcome into the live stream. Nice to have you back tonight. Mountain Princess 207 says, hey, all, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. These lawsuits kind of made me hungry, but not really, because I know they're going to give me a skimpy portion. So I am ready for Thanksgiving, for the food and for the love and all that, mumbo jumbo, sappy stuff, right? But happy Thanksgiving to you as well. We got Mountain Princess 207 saying KFC is gross in my opinion. I'm not mad at the opinion. I will have to say, I did have KFC maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it tastes really good during a Christmas time potluck. So maybe I was just hungry, but no, I'm not going to spend my hard-earned coin at KFC at all. Mountain Princess 207 says they don't even have their steak fries anymore, or at least around here. I didn't even know they had steak fries. Oh, I thought they were potato wedges. Are they steak fries? Mountain Princess 207 says, or potato fries or whatever they're called. Oh, okay, yeah. The potato wedges was banging. Those used to be good, and they don't have them. Yeah, they're going downhill for sure. We got Chris Mullen, a member of the channel. Welcome back into the live stream, saying, hey, Bri and everyone, hello and welcome back. Nice to have you in. Tiara says, I think Churches was trolling KFC. Do you? I really just don't associate Original Recipe with KFC. I don't know why. I just don't think about it. Maybe I'm not hardcore enough. Mountain Princess 207 says, I think KFC finger licking good, not Original Recipe. That maybe. And that's more unique, right? That is more unique. It's fanciful. You can tell that we're talking about KFC. But Original Recipe? Everyone's going to say they got the original recipe. Grandma's Great Cooking is the original recipe. Tira saying finger looking good is a much better slogan for chicken. Yes, it's way better. Original Recipe is so basic. It's very basic, to say the least. Chelsea B says, I find every fast food place got smaller with worse quality, but exponentially more expensive. I agree. I know they say inflation. It's going bad. Food is going bad when you're eating out. And going to like a fast food restaurant almost costs the same as going to like a sit down like Chili's or Applebee's. Like their burgers, meals are literally the same as if you go to a sit down restaurant. So I agree with you. Tiara says, I order online and take what they give me. I should be cooking at home anyway. Way to hold yourself accountable. That is true. I absolutely refuse to order something like Chipotle on a mobile app or online because I want to see what they're putting in my bowl. Don't skip me on a rice. You cannot skip me on rice. Anything else but rice? No, absolutely not. Chipotle is a place that I have to go and watch them make my bowl. Oh, Wyatt says, I love Subway cookies so much. I was on those cookies. They probably don't got whatever deal that was previous. I don't even remember what the deal was, but I used to get them cookies all the time. They're so good. Tierra with the face. Chelsea B says, I love Subway as a kid. Always smelled like fresh bread when you walk in. Not anymore though. It seems fake. I don't know if food can be fake, but Subway, out of all sandwich places I can think of that I've gone to as a kid and not really as an adult, as a young adult, Subway sandwiches seem fake to me. I don't know why. The bread seems fake. The meat seems fake. Everything seems fake. Carolyn Clark says, I heard Original Recipe in ads and such for KFC, but while somewhat associated with KFC, I wouldn't think of it immediately as KFC. 11 herbs and spices, much stronger association. I would have to agree with that. I believe that there's going to be multiple restaurants, and I believe Church's Chicken is going to pull out all those multiple restaurants that are describing their food as the original recipe, and some of them being restaurants that are referring to their chicken. I guarantee they're going to be able to cite a bunch of different places saying they didn't defend their mark, so their trademark needs to go away. I think this lawsuit is a bad move for them. BJ But No Bear says, I think the original recipe thing comes from back when they sold 2 types of chicken, extra crispy and the original recipe. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm not familiar with it. And maybe it's time for that trademark to die. And I think they are setting themselves up for their trademark to die because it's very descriptive. Very, very descriptive. Chelsea B says corporations love wasting money on stupid lawsuits. And the thing is, they have to defend their lawsuit. But if you're not going to defend it with everybody saying original recipe, then why are you picking on churches? Church is like the little brother, little sister. Why are you picking on churches? Pick on someone your own side. I think Chipotle has the original chicken sandwich or something like that. But I guess because it's not original recipe. Come on, no. I think not. I'm not a fan of what they're doing here. Anyways, y'all, that is literally all I had on the live stream for today. It was a short live stream. I am not going to be streaming for the rest of the week and potentially most of next week. Like I said on the last live stream, my next live stream will probably be next Thursday or Friday because I will be out of town for my birthday. But there are still some spicy lawsuits that are coming out that I'm not going to be able to cover on live. So I am going to try to cover them on the alleged new 3-minute shorts that they say that we can do now. I'm going to try to cover them on that because I think we can just summarize them, condense them down, and let y'all know the tea about what's going on without really needing to read all of the documents. So be on the lookout for the alleged 3-minute shorts. We'll see if they actually make it to the short shelf, but they will be vertical video. You'll still be able to watch them whether they're on the short shelf or on my channel. You would still be able to watch them. I hope that everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy their time with their family. Have safe travels if you need to travel, and eat as much as you want, okay? Don't get skimpy portion sizes at Thanksgiving like these restaurants are doing to the customers and the shareholders. I will see y'all all on the next live stream and maybe on some shorts. Make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all like on the shorts and on this video as well.